What's going on? This is RJ from Game News USA here, and today we're going to go over the review scores for Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. So if you're new to the channel, I would much appreciate a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching. We're going to jump right into it. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD got a 77 on Metacritic. Keep in mind the original game got an 87 on the Wii. People and reviewers are dinging it for lacking content that would normally be found in a remaster, any kind of extra levels or any kind of extra thing to justify the purchase. I'm here to tell you, I am 100% willing to pay full price for this game. It is more than worth it, and I will explain why. So, the deal is, yes, I would love extra levels. Yes, I'd like the game to be cheaper. But the truth of the matter is, I will take any of these games ported over to Switch hardware that I can take. Give me any of the remasters, remakes, or just straight up ports. Give me Twilight Princess. Give me Wind Waker HD. Give me Donkey Kong Country Returns. And I don't even care if it's at full price. Now, you may look at that and go, RJ, you're part of the problem because you'll buy anything Nintendo gives you. You're kind of right. But I want to be able to have my entire library on the Switch and on the Switch 2 moving forward. And so I say bring on more of them. Let's get F-Zero GX. Let's get some of those 3DS games like Super Mario 3D Land, Kid Icarus. You know what I mean? Just keep it coming. Resell me the same games over and over and over and over again. But this time when we buy it, hopefully it'll carry over with our digital libraries forever going forward. That's what companies seem to want to do. PlayStation's the same way. They made a mistake with the PS3 architecture, and now they're trying to find ways to carry over a full library forward. Xbox definitely trying to find ways to carry a full library forward. Nintendo, I believe, is taking that approach. But while doing so, also trying to make a ton of money with very little work. It is what it is. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But these reviewers do hold it against Donkey Kong Country Returns, and we're going to go over why. So, like I said, 77 overall Metacritic. I plan on buying the game myself. I won't be able to play it on stream, though, because I usually only play PlayStation games on stream for obvious reasons. You know, those Nintendo ninjas out there. That's where I have an issue with Nintendo. But there were no perfect scores. There are several 90s, including by Games.ch, who said, with the HD remake of DKC Returns, remains an excellent platformer that still shines related to the gameplay and its visuals. If you've already played the versions on the Wii or 3DS, the new version of the Switch seems a bit too expensive despite mostly being great. Honestly, I barely remember what I had for breakfast. So, considering I probably haven't played this game in a decade, it's going to feel fresh, brand new, or maybe I remember things that I enjoyed the first time around. That's not an issue for me. Let's see, we got Nintendirus with an 87, saying it's one of the best platformers ever, full stop. Full of beauty, designed levels, and a sense of action and fun that's hard to match. However, if you played it recently, apart from its graphical upgrade, it doesn't have much else new to offer. Again, you're going to see a theme. A theme that it doesn't quite correlate so well to a 77 overall Metacritic. It's one of the best, but you're not offering anything new. It's one of the best, but you're not offering anything new. Again, I would love to see new content in there. Don't get me wrong. When they re-released Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury onto the Switch, I very much enjoyed the extra mode. Obviously. But I think that it's a little disingenuous to keep praising a game for how awesome it is, but then say, why couldn't you give us other stuff? I mean, it's a port, straight up, guys. I mean, it has some enhanced visuals, and But overall, I think if you love 2D platformers, what else is coming out that's going to distract you from getting this? You know what I mean? It's just an awesome game. I actually think Donkey Kong Country Returns, in a lot of ways, it's better than the other Donkey Kong Country games. Even 1 and 2, which I hold in high regard, it might be better than those. It's right with them. You know what I mean? Like, those are definitely the best 3. I know a lot of people love Tropical Freeze. I like this more than Tropical Freeze. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I think all the Donkey Kong Country games are really freaking good, and this is one of them. I mean, you can rank them any order you want, including DKC3, 1 through 5, between Returns, Tropical Freeze, and the original trilogy. Rank them any way you want. They're all excellent. Personally, for me, I go DKC2, then the original Donkey Kong, then Returns, then Tropical Freeze, then DKC3. But there ain't that much of a gap. They're all good. Hobby Consolis with an 86. For some reason, they always seem to rate their games an 86. They say, Returns HD remains a fabulous 2D platformer that retains and expands on the magic of Rare's games. If you haven't played it on the Wii and you like the genre, you should. It's the best version of it yet. Ah, there you go. The best version of it yet. That's something to keep in mind, guys. There was a lot of people that were trying to poo-poo this version and say, hey, look, they're using more of the 3DS model of graphics. It's not going to look very good. Looks fabulous. All the trailers, screenshots, videos I've seen of it, it looks great. There's no issue with the looks, but more importantly, it's going to feel awesome. I just know it is. The gameplay control is going to be tight. It's going to be expert platforming. I think IGN's review did it the best. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But he said, Astrobot and Mario Wonder, they're just so crazy and they guide you through an amazing experience, and those are great games. But one thing about Donkey Kong Country that's awesome, Donkey Kong Country Returns, is it's just pure platforming awesomeness. And that's what I've been itching. That's the itch I need to scratch, if you know what I mean. CG Magazine with an 85 says, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD brings everything good from both the Wii and 3DS versions of the title to the Nintendo Switch, including the extra levels included in the 3DS version. There's your extras right there. Honestly, I don't even remember if I played the 3DS version. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I know I played and beat the Wii version, though. Oh, brother. That was some difficult levels in there, for sure. Lots of 85s. And then we go to Player 2 with an 83, who says, has a re-release, DKC Returns HD is pretty lackluster, but has a video game, it's still from the very top shelf and cannot be missed. Again, that's a rhetoric we've seen uttered from many of these reviewers. Didn't do a whole lot new, but it's still one of the best. We got a lot of 80s here, and we will go over a little bit of that IGN review. Somehow Donkey Kong Country returned again, but Nintendo's third full release of this 2010 Wii platformer is almost as fresh and fun today as it was 15 years ago. DK's satisfying waiting movement paves the way for challenging momentum-based platforming. That is an 8 out of 10 from IGN and 80 here on the Metacritic. Many other 80s. But let's go to a 75 from Checkpoint Gaming that says DKC Returns HD is a great title to rescue from the Wii's library, allowing a new generation of gamers to enjoy this masterful platformer. It doesn't need a total overhaul, so it makes sense that it's just the HD re-release rather than a total remake. Checkpoint Gaming, I like that review, but your score, your 75, doesn't match your words. I think it's very important that in a review, the score more matches your words. You know, Checkpoint Gaming, if you didn't know any better, this would have been a 9 out of 10 at least, based on the words. But yet, the score they end up going with is a 75, and that tanks the overall score. This game rated lower than Dynasty Warriors Origins. And in no way, shape, or form is there any way Dynasty Warriors Origins would be better than DKC Returns HD. Absolutely not. It's getting penalized for the fact that it's not doing a lot in its remaster. It just is. This game's at least 10 points higher on the Metacritic scale. It's at least an 87 because that's what the original was. Personally, I think it's even better than that. I think it should be in the 90s because I experienced greatness. I would have gave DKC Returns back on the Wii. I would have gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I would have gave it a 95. Nearly perfect. Not quite as great as Donkey Kong Country 2 in my opinion, but really close. Really right up there. Yeah, I think this score is too low. The Gamer with a 70 says, while Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is a commendable platformer, and one I am glad to have on the Nintendo Switch as an exclusive swan song. First of all, let me stop you there before we continue that. It's not the Switch's swan song. They're going to have plenty of games still come out for the Switch, including even Metroid Prime 4, because that will probably be cross-gen more than anything. And also, let's not forget that, we're still getting Xenoblade Chronicles X March 30th. That's the swan song, the real swan song. Because if Metroid Prime 4 is a dual release like Breath of the Wild was, people will more associate that with the Switch 2 than the Switch. Which is unfortunate that we never did get Metroid Prime 4 in a timely manner where it could be on the Switch solely. They're probably just going to launch it on both. That's what it looks like to me. It'll be a launch title. I could be dead wrong. It could be this holiday. It could be well after the Switch 2 is already out. They could. I don't think they'll abandon the Switch platform altogether. We saw a Switch 1 build. But sorry, I'm going on a tangent there. Point is, this game is not the end-all be-all, the swan song of the Switch. It may be the last game that's released before the Switch 2 is announced, if you're believing the rumors are true. But Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition feels like the swan song. And they actually will put some time, attention, and detail into adding things to that to make it a better experience, as they should. But overall, all we really needed for Returns HD was more levels. If we could have had it just a few more levels, that would have been great. That's my only complaint. I'm more leaning about this game being a 9 out of 10, which is on the high end of where the people rated this on the Metacritic score. You may think, well, how can you rate it? You haven't even played it. Guys, trust me, I remember how it feels. I played it, trust me, bro. It's fucking good. And if it's not, I'll come on here and definitely tell you about it. We'll go on with the Gamer, saying, when Tropical Freeze already lives in the console, it's hard not to view its predecessor as inferior. I disagree, because again, I actually think Returns is better than Tropical Freeze. Maybe I hold the minority opinion on that, but I think Tropical Freeze might have been a little too hard, a little too archaic, a little too arcane. Still a great platformer, but I would take Returns all day over Tropical Freeze. Many other 70s on here, GameSpot, Spazio Games. But let's go to the bottom scores, 60s here. We got a couple 60s. The last one being from Eurogamer, who says, a straightforward remaster that struggles to outshine the Switch port of Tropical Freeze, but Returns HD is still a challenging and satisfying platformer that stands the test of time. Again, your words don't quite match the review score. Your words are more like at least a 70, maybe an 80. But to give it a 60, that's a D- in school. That's an unacceptable grade to be giving Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, because that game is much better than a fucking D-. Eurogamer, get your shit together. Figure out what you want to do in life as far as your reviews go, and make them not so biased against Nintendo. Thank you. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video and me going over the review scores for Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I hope you liked the video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Are you going to buy Donkey Kong Country Returns HD? If so, why? If not, why? And until next time, guys, see ya. Have a good one.